Welcome back to Crime Documentary Files. Today, we'll be exploring a case that occurred in 2004 in Osaka Prefecture, Japan. In an upscale residential area in the heart of Izumi City, there lived a wealthy family. The owner of the house was Kenji Asai, a successful 74-year-old businessman who held the position of chairman at a large textile manufacturing and trading company. His wife, Kiyo Asai, 73, was a devoted homemaker. This couple embodied marital bliss, having built their home together for 50 years and raised several children. Over time, their children grew up, married, and moved out. The spacious house became increasingly empty, eventually leaving only the elderly couple. However, this did not diminish their affection for each other. On the contrary, their relationship grew more intimate and harmonious. Throughout their decades together, they had never had a major argument. Both always knew how to compromise and understand each other. The Asai couple was renowned not only for their wealth, but also for their kindness. In the eyes of their neighbors, they were a benevolent and charitable pair. They often led local volunteer activities and were always ready to help those in need. As the chairman of a company, Kenji was known for his professional and dedicated work ethic. He always devoted himself to his work, managing the business with admirable caution and efficiency. The year 2004 marked a significant milestone as his company expanded its operations to neighboring cities. Under his wise leadership, the company continued to grow, promising a bright future ahead. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, signaling even greater successes in the near future. However, tragedy struck this couple. At 10 a.m. on December 4, 2004, the Izumi City Police Department in Osaka Prefecture received an emergency call. The caller was a man who reported that his parents, 74-year-old Kenji Asai and 73-year-old Kiyo Asai, had gone missing. He couldn't contact them by any means. The caller was the eldest son of the missing couple, and he feared something might have happened to his parents, urging the police to investigate quickly. The son informed the police that his father, Kenji, one of the missing persons, was the chairman of a well-known local company. The company was located right next to their private residence, so close that sounds could be clearly heard from one building to the other. According to the statement, the Asai couple was last seen leaving their home around 8:30 p.m. on December 3rd, the day before, and there had been no news since then. The son continued to tell the police that early on the morning of December 4th, he had gone to his parents' house but didn't find them. He then went to the adjacent company but couldn't find them there either. He had tried calling his parents but couldn't reach them. In his father's office at the company, he had discovered a bloodstain. Therefore, he was certain something had happened to his parents and called the police. Immediately after receiving the report, the police force quickly deployed an investigation. First, they went to the company office, which was considered the main crime scene. There, forensic experts carefully collected blood and hair samples. These samples were immediately sent to the laboratory for thorough analysis. Parallel to collecting physical evidence, investigators began a series of interviews. They interrogated employees at the company, hoping to uncover important details about the Asai couple's last day at the office. They didn't stop there, but expanded their investigation to include pedestrians, aiming to accurately reconstruct the couple's journey before they disappeared. To leave no possibility unexplored, the police carefully studied the likes and daily habits of the Asai couple. From this, they compiled a list of places they might have visited. Meanwhile, the family of the missing persons was not standing idly by. They actively participated in the search process, going to every place the Asai couple frequently visited. Moreover, they posted missing person notices on various media such as newspapers, television, and the internet. These notices included clear images of the Asai couple, along with detailed personal information, hoping that someone in the community might have accidentally encountered them and could provide valuable clues. When entering the Asai's house, investigators noticed it was very neat and clean. The walls and floors had no stains or marks. The furniture was tidily arranged. However, in the bedroom, the futon and blanket on the tatami mat were not stored in the closet. One corner of the blanket was turned up, not folded flat. Based on the couple's daily habits and other clues, it could be deduced that the Asai couple left the house at 8:30 p.m. on December 3rd, wearing their nightwear and with no intention of going far, possibly just going to the adjacent company. However, upon closer inspection, the police discovered important details. In the family's garage, a car worth 1 million yen, approximately $9,000, had disappeared. Although there was no sign of missing cash, a credit card and 2 Rolex watches with a total value of 1.4 million yen, about $12,600, were also gone. Based on the clues collected, this case seemed to resemble a break-in, theft, and kidnapping for ransom. Typically, in break-in thefts, the victim's home would be thoroughly ransacked, but in the Asai's house, only a credit card, 2 watches, and a car were missing. This was quite strange. Since the couple might have been kidnapped, the kidnapper might call to demand ransom. Therefore, the police stationed many officers at the Asai's home and company. Some stayed with the family, waiting 24/7 to see if the kidnapper would contact them. But after some time, no one contacted the family. The missing credit card also had no usage history. Therefore, the likelihood of this being a kidnapping was low. A day after receiving the report, a police officer on routine patrol in the southwestern part of Senin City, Osaka Prefecture, spotted a suspicious car driving on the road. This car could be the missing vehicle from the Asai's home. The location of the discovery was about 12.4 miles, 20 kilometers, from the couple's house. After the discovery, this police officer hastily drove in pursuit. The car in front, upon realizing it was being chased, accelerated to escape. Finally, at an intersection, it managed to evade the police car. Due to the considerable distance from that car, the police officer couldn't clearly see the driver's face. After this incident, the police received new leads. Many people had seen that car appear near the Asai's house. Compiling information from multiple witnesses, the car had driven southwest along National Highway 26 for about 14.3 miles, 23 kilometers, then to Hanan City in Osaka Prefecture. If not for robbery, could it be an enemy seeking revenge? The Asai couple was quite well known in the area, and he was the chairman of a company with good development prospects. This might have caused someone's jealousy. Thus, the opponent had kidnapped them for revenge. Following this hypothesis, the police investigated nearly 100 people related to Kenji's company, but still without results. In recent times, the couple apparently had no conflicts with anyone. 4 days after the Asai couple went missing, their family received a message sent from Kenji's mobile phone. The message said that he and his wife were relaxing at a hot spring resort, so there was no need to worry. The message also stated that the blood in the company office was due to his wife's nosebleed. After receiving these messages, although the family immediately called him, the phone was turned off. Kiyo's phone was the same. That day, the forensic results brought a significant turning point in the investigation. The blood and hair samples collected from Kenji's company office were confirmed to belong to him and his wife, Kiyo. This discovery confirmed the worst fears. The couple had been attacked right in their office. However, strangely, no valuable items in the company were missing, leaving investigators even more puzzled about the motive of the incident. A few days later, an unexpected development occurred when the family received a message from Kenji's phone. The message stated that he and his wife would return home after some time. This message, along with information from the police that the couple's car was moving around Osaka Prefecture, temporarily eased the family's worries. They began to hope that perhaps the couple was really on some kind of trip. After this message, there was no more news from the couple. The investigation also reached a dead end. Time passed until November 2009, 5 years after the Asai couple disappeared. At 1:30 p.m. that day, Osaka Prefectural Police, while investigating another case, discovered a suspicious car and 2 blue metal drums in a rented garage in Shinmachi, Hanan City. After opening these metal drums, they found 10 blocks wrapped in cloth and plastic bags under a layer of sand inside. 4 days earlier, the garage rental manager had received a rental request. A customer wanted to rent a garage to store belongings, so he went to the garage to choose an empty one. When he used the spare key to open the roller door of an empty garage, he was surprised to find a car parked inside. He felt very strange because this garage was clearly vacant, so why were there things inside? He couldn't remember renting out this garage. After returning to the company, the garage manager searched through many documents and found the rental contract for that garage. The last time this garage was rented was on December 7th, 2004, 5 years ago. At that time, a customer signed a short-term 1-month rental contract with him. After the contract expired, the customer did not return the roller door key, and he could not contact them. Afterward, that garage was left empty like that with no new customers coming to rent. Gradually, he had forgotten about this until 5 years later when he remembered. At that time, the customer only paid rent and deposit for 1 month, totaling 62,000 yen, about $560. After the contract expired, due to no new customers coming to rent, the manager left the garage as it was without checking. He didn't know what was stored in the garage. When a customer came to rent, during the process of choosing a garage, the manager opened the roller door of that garage. Then he smelled a strong, foul odor. He discovered that this smell was coming from behind the car parked inside. He covered his nose and slowly approached the car. Then he discovered 2 blue metal drums behind the car and immediately called the police. Initially, the police did not pay much attention to this incident. It took 2 days before they sent someone to the scene to investigate thoroughly. However, what they discovered that afternoon completely changed the nature of the investigation. When they arrived at the garage, the police discovered a horrifying scene. In the 2 metal drums, they found body parts carefully wrapped in thin plastic bags, then tightly wound with tape and buried in sand inside the metal drums. Forensic experts worked tirelessly to piece together the remains. The results showed that the victims were an adult couple. Both victims had been struck hard on the head. Notably, the woman had multiple bone fractures. However, due to the severe decomposition of the bodies, experts faced difficulties in determining the exact cause of death. The time of the crime also became vague, only estimated to be somewhere between several months to several years ago. After discovering the bodies, investigators expanded their investigation to the surrounding area, gathering information from the local community. According to residents, the rental garage area had been a source of trouble for a long time. Many people had repeatedly reported about an unpleasant foul smell often emanating from here. This explains why the bodies could lie there for a long time without being discovered. Residents also said that the garage rental business in this area was not very active, with many garages left empty for long periods, creating favorable conditions for the perpetrator to conceal their crime. A crucial turning point in the investigation came when the police checked the license plate of the car found in the garage. They were shocked to discover that this car belonged to Kenji and Kiyo Asai, the couple who had mysteriously disappeared years ago in Izumi City. This discovery connected 2 seemingly unrelated incidents: the mysterious disappearance and the horrific murder case that had just been uncovered. With this new evidence, the police had grounds to suspect that the 2 bodies in the metal drums were indeed the Asai couple. This hypothesis not only explained their sudden disappearance, but also aligned with previous clues about the attack in the office. According to the investigation, from December 4th to December 6th, 2004, immediately after the Asai couple disappeared, their car had moved along National Highway 26 from Izumi City to Hanan City. Then, the car continued to move to several other locations in the city. Through forensic examination, the identity of the 2 bodies in the garage was confirmed. They were indeed Kenji and Kiyo Asai. The time of death could have been the day after they disappeared. Additionally, the police found a half-used sandbag in the car in the garage, containing sand similar to that in the metal drums. The 2 metal drums showed no signs of rust or damage, still looking new on the outside. The garage renter was named Katsuaki Suzuki, a 42-year-old construction worker. According to his boss, Suzuki was very serious about his work, had no absences, didn't gamble, had harmonious relationships with colleagues, and had never had any conflicts. Overall, he was a good person. The police suspected that Suzuki, the last person to rent the garage, was involved in this case. That afternoon, the police found him and conducted an interrogation. The results showed that 5 years ago, Suzuki had worked for a construction company in Senan City. At that time, this company was preparing to build a new house for the Asai couple. Afterward, he was also in charge of interior decoration work for this house. On December 7th, 2004, 4 days after the Asai couple went missing, Suzuki rented the garage. After that, he cut off contact with the garage manager and did not return the roller door key. Although there were many suspicions about Suzuki, the Osaka Prefectural Police initially faced difficulties in gathering enough concrete evidence to charge him with murder. Moreover, the statute of limitations for prosecuting the crime of disposing of bodies had expired after 3 years, making direct prosecution unfeasible. Faced with this situation, the police decided to arrest Suzuki on charges of theft to control him first, then continue to gather evidence about him killing the Asai couple. During the interrogation, Suzuki tried to deny any involvement in the death of the Asai couple. He only admitted to parking the car in the garage but insisted that, "I know nothing about the appearance of bodies in the metal drums." However, the police later found in the car the garage rental contract that Suzuki had signed on December 7th, 2004, a Rolex watch warranty card, and some blood stains in the trunk. Additionally, when searching his house in Kaizuka City, they discovered the garage roller door key that hadn't been returned to the manager, a credit card, and a pawn receipt for a Rolex watch worth 500,000 yen, about $4,500. Notably, the serial number of the Rolex watch recorded on the warranty card and pawn receipt exactly matched the serial numbers of the 2 missing watches from the Asai couple's home. The credit card was also confirmed to belong to this couple. After the incident occurred, this credit card had never been used. Based on this evidence, the Osaka Prefectural Police believed that the bloodstains in the car trunk also belonged to the Asai couple. According to the available clues, the time of pawning the 2 watches was December 4th, 2004, which was the second day after the Asai couple disappeared. They wanted to know how Suzuki had obtained these items. From the details of the initial investigation, the police began to envision the course of the crime. The unfolded corner of the blanket in the bedroom, and the fact that the Asai couple were wearing nightwear when they encountered trouble, suggested that they might have been attacked unexpectedly late at night or early in the morning. Notably, there were mysterious messages sent from Kenji's phone after they disappeared. The police suspected that Suzuki was behind these messages, aiming to mislead the investigation and create the illusion that the couple was still alive. This could have been a sophisticated effort to buy time and conceal his crime. The blood stain in the Asai couple's office, previously explained as a nosebleed, was now reconsidered by the police as a sign of a violent attack. They speculated that after being attacked, the Asai couple were taken out of the office and then completely disappeared. The police believed that to evade guilt, the perpetrator cleverly used the victim's phone to send emails and messages, creating the illusion that they were still alive. This strategy was aimed not only at misleading the victim's family, but also the investigating agencies, creating a smokescreen to cover up the painful truth about the fate of the Asai couple. From this, the police believed that Suzuki had broken into the Asai couple's office with the intention of theft. During this process, the Asai couple living in the house next door heard the noise. They turned up the blanket, wearing their nightwear, got out of bed, and went to the adjacent company to check. As a result, in the office, they encountered Suzuki rummaging through their belongings. When he saw that he had been discovered, he angrily pulled out a weapon he was carrying and attacked both of them. Kiyo, being elderly, couldn't dodge in time and was hit hard on the head, falling unconscious to the ground and creating a blood stain on the floor. Kenji was also attacked. Afterward, Suzuki dragged both of them into the trunk of their car, then went into their house to search for more valuable items. Due to not being psychologically strong enough, Suzuki was afraid of being seen by others, so he hastily took the watches and credit card from the house and quickly fled. Faced with police questions, Suzuki denied theft and murder. He said that he only pawned the watches at the request of a friend. Later, he also rented a garage and parked the car there at that friend's request. Regarding the identity of this friend, Suzuki was vague, only saying that he didn't know the person's contact information. A month and a half after Suzuki's arrest, the forensics lab confirmed that the shoes in the car trunk belonged to the Asai couple. Moreover, Suzuki's fingerprints and DNA were found on the two metal drums. Confronted with new evidence, Suzuki could no longer deny and admitted to disposing of the bodies, saying that he followed his friend's request to drive the car carrying the Asai couple's bodies to the garage, then placed the two people in two metal drums he had bought. However, he still insisted that he did not kill the couple and did not know how they were killed. 6 years after the incident occurred, although the Osaka Prefectural Police had not found the murder weapon and other direct evidence, after more than a year of investigation, they had accumulated much other evidence. The police arrested Suzuki on suspicion of murder and theft. Moreover, of the 500,000 yen, about $4,500, Suzuki received from pawning the two Rolex watches, most had been spent by him. As there was no evidence that he had shared the money with anyone else, the friend Suzuki mentioned was believed to be a lie he made up, and that person did not exist. Later, Suzuki admitted to part of his actions. He acknowledged using Kenji's phone to send messages to the victim's family. However, he still tried to deny guilt by claiming that this action was under the direction of another person, whose identity he did not reveal. Despite Suzuki's efforts to deny guilt, on December 24, 2010, the Osaka District Public Prosecutor's Office formally charged him with two serious crimes: premeditated murder and theft. Faced with these charges, Suzuki remained silent and refused to plead guilty. Although the prosecutor did not have much direct evidence, they had built a strong chain of circumstantial evidence to prove Suzuki's guilt. Suzuki was born in May 1967 in Osaka Prefecture. At the time, he was working for a construction company in Kaizuka City, Osaka Prefecture, and living in an apartment provided by the company. At just 17 years old, he decided to drop out of high school. Afterward, he left his parents' home and began an independent life with part-time jobs. In the following years, Suzuki went through various jobs, from electrician to construction worker in Osaka Prefecture. In September 2003, at the age of 36, Suzuki was hired by a construction company in Senan City, Osaka Prefecture, to do manual labor. This company was building a new house for a client in Izumi City. The client is the president of a textile company, Mr. Kenji Asai. Later, Suzuki began working in the Asai's yard. Although he had met the Asai couple, he only occasionally greeted them and didn't talk much. However, since Suzuki came to work here, a Rolex watch worth 400,000 yen, about $3,600, left in Kenji's car had disappeared. Next, another Rolex watch worth 300,000 yen, about $2,700, in the yard also went missing. After that, a large amount of cash in the couple's house had been stolen several times. As the house was under construction, quite a few people came and went each day, so the Asai couple didn't know who had taken the items. But they were very angry and called to complain to the construction company owner many times. At that time, the company owner had suspected Suzuki and had questioned him, but he insisted he knew nothing. Due to lack of evidence, the owner couldn't deal with him and the matter was left unresolved. According to the investigation, Suzuki spent very lavishly and without a plan. When he ran out of money, he didn't hesitate to borrow to maintain his luxurious lifestyle. As a result, by the end of 2004, at just 37 years old, he was drowning in debt of millions of yen, mainly due to overspending and consumer loans. The increasing pressure of debt pushed Suzuki to the brink. In desperation, he targeted the Asai couple's company as a solution to his financial difficulties. On that fateful night, Suzuki risked breaking into their company office, perhaps with the intention of theft. However, Suzuki's plan did not go as expected. He was caught by the Asai couple, possibly when they were at home and heard unusual noises from the adjacent office. Faced with the risk of being caught and the consequences of his criminal act, Suzuki made a cruel and unforgivable decision: to kill the Asai couple. 9 years after the incident occurred, the trial of Katsuaki Suzuki took place at the Osaka District Court. He was charged with premeditated murder and theft. In court, Suzuki admitted to committing the crime but denied some details, saying that he only participated in theft, vandalism, and disposing of the bodies. Regarding the death of the Asai couple, he still insisted that it was not related to him, the perpetrator was someone else. The police believed that Suzuki's motive for the crime was that he owed millions of yen, so he broke into the Asai couple's company to steal. As a result, he was discovered, and fearing exposure, he killed the Asai couple. Moreover, the friend Suzuki mentioned did not exist. This was just a false statement to escape punishment. After a month of trial, the court pronounced its verdict. The defendant, Katsuaki Suzuki, was found guilty of premeditated murder and other charges and was sentenced to death. However, he did not accept this sentence. Hoping for a reduced sentence, he appealed multiple times to higher courts. The appeal process went through the Osaka High Court and finally to the Supreme Court of Japan. Throughout these years, the case continued to attract public attention, with many people closely following the developments of the appeal process. Finally, in 2017, the Supreme Court made its final ruling, upholding the death sentence for Katsuaki Suzuki. To this day, he remains imprisoned in Osaka prison. And that's the story for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on other exciting cases. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos.